What's up, guys? This is Preston Ruth, sophomore on the track and cross country team here at Tennessee, and I'm just going to share my testimony, a quick story, and just how my life has progressed and how it's looked different with Christ at the center of it. So, last year when I was a senior in high school, it was around the fall, it was right after the end of cross country season, and I got the news my grandfather passed away, which was tough. I was really close with him. He was a huge part of my life and someone I really looked up to, and it was a tough loss, a hard time for my family. And right around that time, I had to quit basketball to focus on running, the sport I've played since first grade, and was really hard to give that up. Um, but I knew if I wanted to get where I wanted to with track, I had to just focus on that. And so having to give up basketball and watch my team have success and leave my teammates and my coaches and all the people that I loved was really hard. And during that time, I questioned where where was God's plan in all this. Um, and so during that time, a verse that really stuck with me was Jeremiah 29:11, which says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." And so, flash forward a few months from that, and I was able to sign here with Tennessee, and it kind of all worked out. But at the time, I really had to lean on that verse. Um, and I think during this time, I'm during quarantine. It's the same thing. We don't know what God's plan is in all this. We don't know if we're gonna have fall sports or how all that's gonna work. And so right now we can question Him. But I think my biggest takeaway from this verse and from that story was I have to have faith in His plan for me, because His plan is greater than what I have in mind for myself. And so, kind of a bit about my journey with Christ. I've always been around the gospel and church since I was little, but it was always my parents' religion. It wasn't really mine. I just kind of did the things to kind of check it off, and went to church and read the Bible and all the stuff that looks good, but didn't really like have an actual relationship with Him. Um, and at that time, sports was my identity. Being an athlete, I mean, that was what I was rooted in. And not only that, but striving for perfection, having the perfect image, all through high school and especially middle school. Just was always trying to put up this front like I had it all together, so that when people looked at me, they saw this clean cut, put together guy who had it all figured out. When in reality, I didn't. Um, and at that time, I was a Christian, but I was living out of this I can do it myself and relying on my own strength. Um, but I think a changing moment was when I um, started going to small group at my church, my sophomore year of high school. I just was with a group of guys that wanted a relationship with Christ. And, then I really started to learn a lot about what it meant to have a relationship with Christ, and my heart was just transformed. And kind of through that, I found out that works don't earn you a spot in heaven. It's your faith in God. And I know that I'm not perfect now, and that I'm going to make mistakes, and that trying to put on this front of being perfect is never going to hold up, because I'm always going to slip up and fall short. And so kind of now I just can live out of this freedom that, Jesus loves me, and that if I put my faith in Him, He's got me. He's got a plan for me, and that I don't have to rely on my own strength or try to work my way into heaven, which has been really good and freeing. But like everyone, I'm still imperfect. I still make mistakes. Being an athlete is very easy to go down the wrong path, to be with the wrong people, and I've made my handful of mistakes, and my fair share of mistakes. But um, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and my journey with Christ is going to have the ups and downs, but He's constant through that. And so, if I could challenge you guys with anything, during this time, reach out to people, find a group of people that want the same thing as you, that want a relationship with Christ, that want to um, know about Him, and live a life where He's at the center, because it's so much more fulfilling and the only thing that will ever satisfy you. And it's tough. It doesn't make your life easier. I learned that. But you know, I was able to learn a lot from my small group, and I hope that you guys can find a group that was as good as mine. So, hope you guys are doing well in quarantine. Stay strong, have faith, lean on His Word, because he's gonna take you somewhere great. So I hope you guys have a good day and go Vols.